Red Avenue Cycling Club. We got the Zep 808s and Canyon Aero 2021. Getting a lot of good feedback here, so please subscribe if you want to see some more videos. This race, it's a pretty long one, 16 kilometers. I've been enjoying the sprint races lately, but I figure I'll give this one a try and record it. You'll see myself there in the bottom left. I'm wearing the Whoop band on my arm, and Monday morning had a good sleep. My recovery is very high, so it's saying I'm ready for a lot of strain here for this race. And so I'm gonna go pretty hard and see if I could take a top 10, maybe a podium here. And to start off, I'll kick it off. We're gonna do the first kilometer, maybe 800 meters. And then we're going to skip forward because really there's 3 or 4 exciting parts that make or break the race, and I really want to walk through those. But to kick it off, Cat B race, there's 51 riders in here, and the goal is a strong start, stay in the pack. Number 2 is to conserve energy as much as possible. And number 3 is to be in it for the sprint finish. So first 800 meters, I'm in the pack, it's good, I'm near the front, and it's pretty flat leaning into the back half of the lap where actually all of the elevation is from. So we're gonna skip forward to the back half of the lap and see what happens when we hit this power-up lottery. And you could see it starting to stretch and break out a little bit. I get a burrito, which isn't great. It's a no draft. And the race it starts getting stretched out after this first power up at about 5 kilometers in. This point here is make or break. So you'll see I'm in the drops. I'm pedaling pretty hard, 300 watts. My heart rate is creeping up, but if I don't bridge the gap to this front group when they kind of bunch up, then the race is going to be done. I'm going to be looking at like a bottom 20 finish, bottom half of the pack, bottom half of the group here. So I throw the undraftable and put up over 400, over 500 watts to bridge the gap here on the flat, because if I don't, even though I'm exhausted here, my heart rate's climbing up to 190. If I don't bridge the gap here, then the race is done. I'm going to lose the front group, lose the draft. But thankfully, I use quite a bit of energy here to close the gap, and I'm able to bunch up within the pack here. So we're going to skip forward in a sec once I get in the group here. We're going to skip forward about a lap, and we're going to look at what happens when we hit the next power-up lottery, because at that point, at the top of most of the elevation is when the race really starts to take off. So another 5 kilometers in the bag here. We're looking at the next power-up lottery. We'll see what happens. This is kind of a breakout point. So as soon as the lottery happens and we get to the flat part following the climb, following the little bit of elevation, here's what happens. And this time my heart rate's above 190, 193. So I'm pretty gassed, and I'm going to use my power-up as soon as it lands. So I'm going to use decent one, drafting boost. So it means anybody I'm behind, it's going to give me a little bit of boost, allow me to conserve a bit of energy for how hard I'm working. And I use it, and I try to do the same strategy, bridge the gap, but this time I don't want to be chasing it. So I use the power up to kind of get in the break so that I have a little bit of draft and don't have to be using so much energy to bridge the gap. So thankfully it's working pretty well. I have to put up over 350, over 400 watts in some cases in order to do this, but I bridge the gap, I sit in the group, and we got 4.6 kilometers remaining, and this is the flat part of the race. So, hopefully we sit in on this one. I'm going to skip forward a little bit, but I sit in the group, and essentially it's a flat until the back half of the lap, as I mentioned. So 4.4 kilometers left. We're going to skip to the last 500 meters, which is the exciting part. It's been sitting in the group the whole time here, and now with 400 meters left, we got a big group going for the sprint finish here. I'm in the middle front of it, and my heart rate's 195, totally gassed, 250 meters remaining. still in the saddle, but putting over 400 watts, and everybody's just using these power-ups, which I guess they've been holding. So I get out of the saddle, put out over 600 watts, which isn't great, to try to stay into this group and get a decent sprint finish. But come a little bit short, finish 18th, Zwift Power 13th, which isn't bad given the strength of the sprint there at the end. But anyways, thanks for watching. More videos to come next week. Please like and subscribe.